and we're back.
Whoa!
I don't understand what happened. All I did was get up to go get a frickin' Snapple out of the fridge, and it's like, no internet for you. Well, fucking fine.
Angry you left.
It was fine. Like, I had one blip earlier, but it was like a blip.
We're trying to explain druids the trap.
What kind of druids?
The old kind, the one that wears all the stuff.
Ah.
Yeah.
Listen. My very first D&D character was a druid.
We'll go with for Luna, like it's a variation on the Order of the Moon. It'll be interesting.
What, Jesse?
He's a grumpy
It's okay.
baby.
Why are you a grumpy?
I've plotted on how to basically have to have nice civil discourse and be interesting and not antagonistic.
Yes, the anxious Babu.
Alrighty, are we ready?
Hopefully.
Hold on a sec.
Holding.
I'm,
Holding.
I gotta do something real quick.
Oldie Katie.
Nobody laughed. I'm disappointed that none of you were looking at the camera.
Sorry, I was
I
looking
have
at
a
my
lotion
notes.
in my face.
I was attempting to be a good DM and look at my notes. I haven't.
What are notes?
Things that I require in order to not have something like everyone's a tiefling.
Everyone's either a tiefling or a halfling?
Yep, basically.
Except for the one bitch? Oh, did I say that?
Okay.
Jesus. Listen.
I need you to roll me a perception check for that, sir.
Yes and no. They can detect with detect thoughts. You can detect sentient.
I think you should just listen to your DM, sir.
But still.
Alright, time for you to get down. Time for you to get down! No, you can't stay up here.
Here's the thing.
26.
Okay. With a 26. Like, quite literally depends on what I roll the table. So, you would probably, if you're paying attention, you will probably be the first to know if that encounter shows up.
We're talking where they meet, because like I'm assuming this is like both the place I've been caretaking for a little while.
Around here, probably not, because this is closer toward the bottom. And there's been some attempts at civilizing this lower half.
Okay.
So,
So what?
Where we at? What are we doing? It's getting quiet in here.
I think we're waiting on Trav.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Where are we? Or where are we heading?
We're getting ready to.
You are getting ready to meet your final party member.
Cool. New friends.
So currently, Lysandra has her horse. I presume Castra is riding his back. Pace.
Castra's always riding my back. Especially since she's pregnant. 3 months pregnant.
Could have just left it at. You know what? Never mind. I'll behave.
Could've just left it at what?
Don't worry about it.
No.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway.
Anyway,
I don't. Did I miss a social cue? It wouldn't surprise me if I did.
No, this is.
You missed a Cortea social cue.
yeah, she's being a shit merchant.
I'm not. I'm currently trying to get a blanket off my bed.
Fell off with that.
I'm trying to get a blanket off my bed while attached to my computer, okay? Listen.
I thought the cats were on it.
Singer's on the bed.
No, the blanket.
Oh, the blanket that I currently have in my hand?
Yeah.
No. Yuki's behind my computer.
Matt,
Oh.
Hear you, but she does.
Hi. Can I pet you?
Nope.
Sniff, sniff, sniff. I pet you anyway. Mwahahaha.
Alrighty. Oh, so you were seeing this thing. Yay! Alright, as you make your way out of Raven's Rest and up the Grimbolt Mountain Pass toward Jamestown, you come across a figure in the path who looks like thus.
Looks like what?
Cool.
Character picks.
I gotta listen. I gotta get there. Ugh.
Just letting you know where to look.
Is everything on him made out of wood?
No.
Bone, fur, metal.
I'm sorry.
The staff is indeed, although the staff will have been made out of is carved ivory. From a creature I'm not sure anyone would recognize. Mind you, you will be meeting, and there will be a pot cooking, and there will be also a boar that he is finishing, doing some carving work too. A fire and stew.
So then, for preparation purposes, I need you to make a survival check.
You need what?
I need Dalton to roll me a survival check.
Dalton. Funny.
He just doesn't want to have a fantasy. The last time he had a fantasy name, he got eaten by a vampire.
It's not my fault Terrell got his ass kicked by a Feymoth. And then kidnapped.
Alrighty then. So this individual, basically with a miniature cooking camp in the middle of the pathway.
Would you like the ivory of the staff is? Okay, yeah, I'll let you finish your thing.
smells coming off of this food are absolutely tantalizing.
Tantalizing?
Tantalizing. You want to put them in your mouth like yesterday.
Yuki, quit.
The shifting one told me there'd be guests. I've decided to prepare.
The shifting one? That's what you're gonna go with?
We got dumb fish, we have Gilfeather, and we have the shifting one.
Love it.
And we have Giggles and Gawks. At this point.
Yeah. And I think there isn't like a and there is a kind of a basic shaman's necklace around his neck.
I dig into the boar.
Yuki.
Go into the boar. Oh, I also made some for your. Where's the like he pulls a leg off. Where's the puppy?
Aether will
Like
come
he'll
trotting
give a small whistle.
Aether will come trotting over.
Happy for Munch and Crunch.
Yes, he's always looking for Munch and Crunch. Especially since all he's had today is
Oh, is that all he wants to do?
Munchity crunchity.
I mean, the poor boy did have one of his testicles popped off by an angry well, not angry so much as crazy.
Yeah. The moment he starts, he like this. It's just a very casual, just that thing like you'd just expect someone who just naturally expects the wolf to be friendly because because of their nature. Just gently pets across April as he eats the food. There you go. Eat up. Eat your fill. If not, we'll find more.
Oh great, a caretaker. Ugh.
You're an odd lad. Looking to Akira.
I could say the same for you. Can't say I've seen anyone like you before.
That is indeed true on probably many notes.
Does he speak Sylvan, or does he not understand?
Okay, you were speaking Sylvan, but yes. Then he'll speak common, but like, yeah, he responded to what you said.
Okay. Because that's the only time I can speak in full sentences, if I'm not speaking that or halfling. Otherwise, it's all broken up sentences.
That's one of the reasons why I'm like, everybody take Sylvan, please.
Are you born of land or magic? I obviously was born of magic. And the land. Both technically exist, but then again, both exist as nature in their own way. Do you two ladies plan to sit? Food? It's. I'm normally told that it's quite good.
Lysandra is staring at this being in confusion and says, "You are not meat. You are not Yonti, and yet you do not seem threat."
Well, you haven't indeed tried to threat. I mean, there's plenty of hunter and hunted around here, but I do not intend to engage in combat unless necessary. But I am more than capable if that's what you ask. One doesn't exist in the woods and not to know how to fend for them, protect themselves.
You're peculiar,
I get that.
but you may be what I need.
I think one addition to that picture is that he will have glowing, kind of swirly marks going up both arms.
Okay. I.
Gareth once doesn't know what to do with himself in life.
I want to ask where he got all his shit.
He can ask.
Okay. Where did you find all of your, just points to literally everything you're wearing?
As per the natural course of life, I sought, I hunted, and I incorporated into my being, like you're incorporating that boar into your being. Slightly different, but same concept nonetheless. That's what the natural course of things are. Things live, and he holds a flower and it grows. They grow, and eventually they are either die from their own from the way the universe consumes them, or they are consumed by something bigger than them.
Sounds to me. Can I discern what any of his stuff is from, or did you?
The teeth, maybe. It would be interesting to see if he can identify where the kind of being that the staff would have been formed from.
100% he has no idea where that ivory came from.
Okay.
Jesus. Let there be cat.
So go ahead and roll me a vision check for teeth.
He seemed civilized enough that he wouldn't have butchered an animal.
Define civilized.
Let there be double cat.
Well, hi there, what?
Can you tell me what it was one more time?
Nature check.
Nature check?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I thought you said divination.
That'd be a weird one.
Yes, how do I roll a check for divination in D&D?
It would technically be an Arcana check. Because divination is a school of magic.
22?
Already? You gonna tell him what the teethies are?
Various predatory animals, wolf, bear,
They're fighting!
Hello, Doodle.
Ow. Ow, ow.
There's nothing up there. What are you looking at?
wolf, bear. Oh, what should look like a canine of the canine of a cat, but is longer than it should be.
Okay.
And it's probably some others that you would have a lot harder time recognizing. Reptilian-esque, but still weird.
How did you come about getting all those teeth?
Hunts. The beings that either tried to hunt me or that I hunted them. And then incorporated.
What do you mean?
Any of the things that he has on his thing were endangered?
None of the ones that you recognize. The strange teeth are something that, like, you understand what, like, family of animal they may have come from, but they're much larger than they should be.
I mean, how does one understand the strength of a wild animal without first testing in its most primal fashion?
By capturing it. Playing it. Protecting it. Befriending it. I just start listing off all the things you can do.
These are ways to get to know a being's compassion, its heart, but its power is different.
Observe it in its natural habitat. Watch it fight others of its own kind.
And why not put your own life on the line and exist in harmony with its own natural rhythms?
Because that's not for us to decide. That's interfering with the natural order.
But I hunted, hunted, fought. These are natural contrasts of the very natural world. I mean, hell, this fine young wolf here has to hunt and prey, and actually fights. If it fights at your side, hunts big things that it normally wouldn't strike. Is this a perversion of his nature?
No. He fights what I tell him to fight, and doesn't fight what I tell him not to.
This would not be his case in the raw, primal form.
No, but
He has
fights
become
me.
more. He has become different. It is the most primal law of nature to engage in conflict and for things to live and to die.
Die of natural causes.
Slit throat bleeding out is a very natural way to die. That boar, for example,
Boar are prey animals.
I know beings that would consider you a prey animal. Everything is something's prey. It just depends on who wins the struggle. Heck, you could say that technically civilization preys on the primal archaics of nature, and vice versa. One cannot actually exist without the other. Heck, actually, your brethren would have considered, beings much as yourself, would have actually considered your companions prey.
Yes. But that is animals. It's just the way they were.
That's the way
I
all
have a
beings
higher
are.
understanding, and so I teach him a higher understanding.
So then you are no longer animal?
No, I am not.
But is what defines a being such as yourself as different than animal?
I have.
Do you
more
not?
thought.
That
I
defines
don't
your.
think merely in prey and eat and sleep. I think more.
A thinking animal is still an animal, is it not?
I don't rely on baser instincts. I have higher instincts.
Can Lysandra pipe in a minute?
Or are you
Well,
going to let
mind you,
her
the
poke him?
Warforged just looks entirely intrigued in this thing. Like, there's no animosity in anything about this.
I know, but Lysandra has something to say about a higher being for an owlbear. Especially one that was made by a wizard.
Yes, she'll just pipe in when she wants.
Okay. Lysandra says you live by borrowed power. If
I
not
live by
for the wizard who made you,
Okay.
you would not be sentient at all.
You'll have to repeat yourself, Trev.
I said if I live by borrowed time, then how come I'm still alive?
I said power. Like
Power,
you
power.
you stay a regular owlbear with the power of your wizard. But we don't know how you stayed this way since he's dead.
Then it's not borrowed power since the borrowing is over. He's
Eh.
dead.
So did you
I no longer get the power.
Mind you, the Warforged with Kill like just kind of leans forward. Did you incorporate your maker into you?
No, I don't think I did. I didn't eat him if that's what you want.
There's incorporate means more than eat.
I'm having fun. I know about the rest of y'all.
Dear lad, there is much more to being civilized or beast or animal than just whether one has sentience. Because I can guarantee you that your fine young companion here has a fine array of emotions and pain, but that doesn't mean that they are any less above the strife. Heck, wars is nothing more than a country trying to consume another country for reasons to support itself. It's just a bigger animal. I understand that you might be young, but these flows exist everywhere, not just prey and predator, or just pig versus wolf. Because as I said, humans eat wolves sometimes, and this is natural.
And those humans die. As long as if they eat it in front of me, they die.
If they are starving to death, would you murder a child for eating what was available?
Child, woman, they're all
So humans are despicable.
the ones who hunt for game and fun. Yes. The ones who hunt for nothing but sport.
Well, it is definitely a very wasteful way to test one's strength. And I would certainly discourage the practice.
My mother, my father, they were killed for sport. Nothing more. Nothing more than to be trophies on a wall. They were nothing about them. They'd never hurt anyone. They were just
Well,
happened to be in the wrong place when at the wrong time.
Well, to be fair, one, I never mentioned hunting for sport in my wishes of things, and two, are you aware of what normal owlbears do to the surrounding environment? How they exist.
Owlbears do to surrounding environment other than exist only where they are born.
They consume they consider a lot of beings to be considered prey, such as cattle, which are being raised by things, the young of the young of the humans or other races that live nearby. It is not desirable for the civilized for a colony to have an unawakened being nearby them.
But they only eat to survive. They don't.
And they
hunt for
kill a
farmers.
dangerous. Is it? Would you not? If something was a threat to your mate, would you not protect your mate by destroying them, whether you eat it or not?
But that is because it is a threat to me and to mine.
So there is
It's
more
not a
reasons to
sport.
kill
I would
than for
I
food.
would eat what I kill. I don't just leave it and or hang it up or display it proudly.
Unless it's a
And
human.
then I spit on the ground.
There are beings that will hunt and kind of incorporate the animals into themselves or even into their nests. Sometimes even showing them to mates. There are a great many wonders out there, my dear friend. I would love for us to see them together. How about instead of inquiry, I teach you the same way I learned. We go and we experience. Experience is the best teacher of all.
I warn you. I'm wary of you, but I'm not closed-minded.
It's not unusual for travelers to be. After all, in very retrospects, you would be. Heck, if it wasn't for your sentience, as I said, you would be. Well, exactly. A normal owlbear bursting into a den would not be rapidly consuming one's food. Would be cause for concern in most places.
My parents taught me never to hunt for anything other than necessity. We keep what we kill, we kill what we have to, and anything less we would always ensure was eaten or was used in some way. I live by the philosophy that if I can save it, I do, and if I can't, then I put it to rest, so that it may forever move on to its afterlife.
It will move on to an afterlife either way. All beings live, die, and move on. Heck, even gods eventually die, and move on. Slower, much slower. But this is the will of the cosmos. It cannot be overturned. Putting things to rest is a ritual for the living, or those who want to give a special significance to that which has died. Is your problem more that because you are beasts that you wonder if you have a place within society, the civilized world?
I make a place for myself.
By clinging to that which couldn't exist there?
I exist. Why can I not have a place? Everything else exists and has a place. Why not me?
Yes. But would you want to see all of this? And he just expands around his arms around you. The natural things. Trapped in walls.
No. But it should be allowed to roam freely while being supervised to make sure nothing tries to disturb it. It should be allowed to live as it would. I don't want to trap anything. I just want to preserve. That is all I care about. Nothing else. I've devoted my entire life so far to preserving what I see as worth preserving. If I don't do that, then I have nothing.
So
wouldn't
every
take that
being
from
has
me,
the right to live according to its own nature, correct?
including me.
Including hunters.
They live until they meet me.
And that is and that's then I guess the most ancient game of all happens. Predator and prey. Isn't that fascinating?
It is impossible for me to kill all hunters. But should they take a life that I deem was worthy and throw it away as if it was nothing but mere trash, then I do the same for them. Until I've met her, and then I look over at Castra. Now we put them to rest. Together.
Very right. Such a weird fascination of classically living beings.
Real quick.
Hmm?
Miss Castor, are you alive over there?
No.
Do we need to break early?
Are they done discussing animals and how to hunt them and what they're used for?
Not yet.
Oh, then I'm gonna go back to taking a nap. Listen.
We'll just say that we continue discussing for the rest of the night and then move on with the campaign, because
Well-
we could sit here for hours.
Yeah.
You two are
On that note.
literally putting me to sleep.
I have started taking my paint pens and painting random things in my grass, guys.
I
Like,
can continue if you'd like. Would you like to continue?
No, actually,
taking-
this will be fun. Actually, I'm gonna incorporate this into the thing. Huh? We seem to have we seem to, in our wonderful conversations of the nature of nature, as it were. We seem to have put your mate to sleep, and I think if we don't figure out something to do with the Yanti, I'm afraid she's going to probably do something most unpleasant to the surrounding environment.
I will let the princess eat you.
The princess smirks.
I put the tent up. I start putting the tent up and then carry Castle inside of it.
To be fair, there wouldn't be much meat on there really wouldn't be much for any normal being to consume here.
She can still eat the edible parts. And that's what you need to worry about.
I'm not sure any of his parts are edible. Are they?
Ironwood, bone,
Technically, you might, if the bones are relatively fresh, be able to get marrow out of them.
Fair. Or I could just feed them to Aethelwolf.
yeah.
Munchity
It'd be a very hard thing to really like consume, because as I said, these are very inorganic beings. Like the wood is the closest thing, and that's and even then that's a very specialized subset.
Like I said, I'll just feed the bones to Aethelwolf and you can play fetch.
Need to scooch y'all here really quick. No reason, I promise.
What time is it?
1:45
It's-
Does the Castor need a nap?
Somebody's telling me it's bedtime. He's already curled up in his spot. I've been going to bed early recently, guys. I know, Bubba's. I'm sleepy too.
Honestly, I have made. I've made a roll. I can make a note
Hmm?
for myself. For what's gonna happen in the morning. So we can call it so that peeps can go sleep. Oh, it's 1 p.m.
Yeah, I'll
Good
probably
night,
nap for a little bit longer.
Now.
Especially if you need me to figure out why owlbear owlbears, despite whatever.
Well, I mean, you could look in the tavern chat at my sinister squealing of happiness.
What was your idea?
Yeah. Apparently, that's a spoiler.
It is, in fact.
I don't like the chuckles.
I'm gonna figure out how to feed the information.
Ugh.
You know.
So, party as a whole is going night-night, and then Castra Cortea IRL is fucking exhausted.
It gets to go to the seeps.
Yeah, the seeps. Everybody say goodnight to my stream.
Cool.
Night
And wit.
Night stream.
Oh, pop my neck. That feels good.
Oh, this is actually gonna be fun. Yeah, no, the Dalton definitely sees Kira as an interesting person, especially since they kind of reflect his ideal.
Ugh.
That there can be a balance.
I'm exhausted. I'm really, really exhausted.
The primal and the quote.
Normally we stay up for hours on end doing
We're nice with me.
D&D and D&D related conversations.
So I like
However,
cheap mimicry of your characters.
it's almost 1 o'clock now. We started around 8 p.m., so it's been a few hours. And yeah, this session was really slow and just not at all the exciting parts of D&D. We would consider this like a quote-unquote unofficial session 0.
Damn it. Okay. Okay, guys, help me play Wisdom.
I want to thank everybody for stopping by, hanging out, lurking, whatever it is y'all did.
Because, like, one of the, it's like, one of the like, specifically when, like, you mentioned
Excuse me. Tired.
his comeback was Fortnite. Like,
Thank you again.
why are you changing the subject?
And we'll pick up in 2 weeks. We'll be back with Castra and Akira and
Started to go down that
Lysandra,
through this big,
elongated S's,
you know,
because Yanti,
the human
and Dalton, because we need regular names. Whatever. The Warforged. Okay. Good night.